You're on.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Liquality Community Call. My name is Whipper, and I'm a crypto enthusiast and a Liquality community volunteer. We have an exciting call lined up for you today. We are fortunate enough and pleased to have the NEAR project and protocol with us. A couple of reminders before we get started. Please keep your mic muted unless you're speaking to, and please save your questions for our Q&A section towards the end of the call. And a quick reminder that we'll be closing the call with a raffle giveaway. So one lucky listener will be winning a prize. So please stay tuned to the end. And with that being said, I'm going to pass this over to Simone so we can get started. So please sit back and relax and enjoy our call.
Thank you, Weber. That's awesome, and thank you for being so active in the Liquality community. I think this is, just the start. This is the second community call we've hosted, and this is, like I was saying, this is really the genesis of what is going to be an amazing community full with engagement and external participation, and just overall, I think, a beautifully decentralized and coordinated animal and beast that is going to be taking over the cryptosphere and becoming the single interface to crypto. And so I'll just give a quick overview for those of you that don't know what Liquality is. So I'm Simone. I'm the co-founder. We have a few members of the team here in the call, as well as some community members. And so, if you exist in crypto today, you know that we live in a multi-chain world, whereas before it used to be all Ethereum related. I think now we're starting to really see the evolution and the traction of many different chains happening, and so you start to see Binance Smart Chain, Solana, NEAR, RSK. Of course, Bitcoin always existed. Polkadot's coming on mainnet soon. And in order to interact with all of these different blockchains, you require a different wallet. It's a pain to go from one to the other. If you want to go from one blockchain to the next, you can't really do it in a decentralized way. You have to go either through a centralized exchange, or you have to use a bridge that a chain team has constructed that is usually just for one specific pair. And so that's where Liquality comes in. We want to allow everyone to interact with the decentralized economy in the most secure, easy, and accessible way. And so we are both the trustless cross-chain liquidity network that allows you to do cross-chain atomic swaps between one blockchain and the next in an entirely peer-to-peer way, as well as the single interface to the crypto economy. So we have our multi-chain user-owned wallet, a non-custodial multi-chain wallet that allows you to interact with the different applications on each of these chains. And so I'll talk a little bit about what's happened. So some of the milestones that we've hit and the roadmap. We just passed this month 9,000 weekly active users after a launch in September of last year with the wallet. That's a pretty impressive growth that we're seeing. And so thank you to everyone that has been using the product actively and that has been continuously providing feedback and helping us get better. And of course, more than grateful for those of you that are actively contributing to the protocol as well. So we've gotten, we just got an external contribution for Bitcoin Cash, for example, from an anonymous developer, and we've gotten some more external contributions. And also in April, for the first time, we did over $10 million in atomic swap volume, which is pretty big. That's over 100% growth month over month. So Liquality is hitting some really cool milestones, and I think the room for growth here. If you think about MetaMask having 5 million active users, and that's just on Ethereum and EVM compatible chains, I think the opportunity space for Liquality just keeps getting bigger and bigger as crypto grows. Some of the recent releases, which we'll talk about. So we released Ledger integration. That was the top requested feature that we had been getting from users, and that's live now for Bitcoin, Ether, and RSK. And then yesterday we released our NEAR integration. We have a member of the NEAR team to talk about it, and we'll get to that in a little bit. So that's what's been happening. What's coming down the pipeline? So new chains, of course, and swaps to those chains. We've been hard at work at integrations, and so Binance Smart Chain is already live for sending and receiving and interacting. But we'll be turning on those swaps with BNB in the next couple of weeks. Similarly with Polygon. So Polygon has been having amazing traction right now in the Ethereum layer 2 space, and so we're almost live with that integration, and we'll be doing some coordinated campaigns with the Polygon team. And then in terms of features that are coming into the wallet, so custom transaction fees. So we've gotten this over and over. If you're trying to send a transaction, currently we only have slow, medium, fast. Now you'll be able to construct your own custom fees. So basically, setting up your gas limits and deciding how much exactly you want to spend, which should be really useful for high frequency users. Multi-account support is coming, so having the ability to have multiple wallets, multiple accounts, that should put us, in more feature parity with some of the other wallets in the space. And then we're doing some direct wallet integrations. We're starting to, and I'll talk about this a little bit later, but the one really cool thing about the Liquality Wallet is that it's entirely open source, and it has a transaction automation capability that allows us to have complex integrations that to our users look like very simplistic, kind of like one-click actions. And so we're going to be integrating 1inch to allow, for example, Bitcoin to any ERC20 swap. And we're accomplishing that by doing a Bitcoin to ETH swap on Liquality, and then doing that last leg on 1inch. We'll also be kicking off a referral program. So please stay tuned for that, in basically how to earn rewards and how to earn money through referring users and friends to come to Liquality. And then we'll also be working on more direct integrations, like native sovereign integration. We'll be doing some short-term fixes. We know there's a couple of bugs outstanding, like the fee estimation for Bitcoin that is damaging the flow when you're trying to swap the maximum amount of Bitcoin. So we're fixing that, and the fix is already in development, so it should be pushed in the next week or so. And then we're fixing some issues with the RSK community that we've been seeing, like sovereign and money on chain staking. And so those two bugs and should be fixed in the next week or so. And then there's a couple of other smaller things that we're working on. And so that's coming, all of this is coming in the next, I would say, 2 to 4 weeks, the short-term roadmap. The longer-term roadmap, of course, involves, continuing down the pipeline of integration. So Arbitrum, for example, is going live in the next couple of days. So we'll be speeding that integration up so our users can use Arbitrum. We're already in conversations with the Solana, with the Polkadot, and with the Cosmos teams to integrate directly, and a few others. And then we're starting to work on the mobile apps, and we're hiring across the board. I'll talk about that in a bit. But we're hiring really good mobile engineers to come help us build our mobile app. We're also improving the liquidity, so we're maturing the market maker software so we can bring professional market makers on board. We know some pairs have been struggling with liquidity, like the RBTC pair. And so we're bringing on more mature market makers to help us provide more depth to the swaps. And we'll be launching this wallet plugin framework so that developers, and we'll be incentivizing developers to build on top of the wallet and basically craft any experience that you can imagine into the Liquality Wallet. Some other things, continue to support more L2s, fiat on and off boarding with partner integrations, and then eventually we want to get a place where people can provide liquidity into Liquality directly from their wallets and have this disaggregated wallet network where people are swapping with one another and people are able to earn yield directly from their wallets without having to go anywhere else. And so to celebrate our Near integration that kicked off yesterday, we have Ozymandias here from the Near team. Yeah, Ozymandias, maybe I'd love for you to talk about a little, spend a few minutes talking about Near, what's going on in the near space, and what's got you excited lately.
Yeah, thanks for the introduction, Simon. And first of all, like Liquality, that's very impressive what you guys are doing. As I was watching this, I was like, this is a really, really cool solution. So I should prequel and say that in terms of my position with Near, I am technically an entrepreneur in residence with the team. I have a guild in the Near ecosystem that's been running since last July, right before they launched on mainnet. And I think in general, maybe to introduce Near, the best way that I could do it would be to situate the landscape of L1s between a world of dApps and a universe of chains. So I think as different L1s have developed in the last couple of years, they've had different visions of how they're structured. Near is similar to Ethereum insofar as it aspires to be a layer one blockchain that has a vision of the future of a world of decentralized applications building on top of it, as opposed to something like Cosmos or Polkadot, where you would be able to spin up your own chain in one way or another. That being said, Near has also situated itself at the center of what would be the universe of chains. And so the three parts of Near that I think I'll talk about that might be most interesting is the recent launch of Aurora, which is effectively it's a combination of the EVM with the bridge that allows for easy integration of existing Ethereum-based solutions on Near. Aurora is oftentimes spoken of as a kind of an L2 for Ethereum dApps that actually runs with ETH as its base token. And then unlike some other L2s, it also runs with a permissionless and decentralized Rainbow bridge, which I'm going to talk about next. So it's quite secure. The second major part of Near that I think is really, really interesting to discuss is what was originally built as Rainbow Bridge is also known as Rainbow Protocol. And it's basically this decentralized and permissionless design infrastructure that they're using to bridge to other L1 chains. So they've done it with Ethereum. They're planning on doing it with Cosmos and Polkadot. And I think it's a lot like you've mentioned with Liquality. There's a really big belief that the future is multi-chain and that people are going to be moving assets and calling certain things between chains. And then the last thing I should probably mention is this is currently building on Near, but it's known as Octopus Network. And that is ultimately going to be the app chain arm of the layer one that Near is. So similar to Polkadot, where you can launch parachains, Octopus Network is going to build out on Near to offer app chains to any project that would like to have the functionality of their own blockchain. That's pretty much kind of the core bases of Near. It's dynamically sharded, very fast, low cost. And then maybe to kind of wrap up on the two unique value propositions that might be kind of either new or foreign to other areas of crypto is Near was really, it was built with usability first and foremost in mind, usability for developers and usability for users. And so the Near account system is basically integrated into the wallet that you would use across all of your applications on Near. And once you kind of get into the details, they've made a lot of fixes to make it much more user friendly in terms of progressive security, in terms of not being able to overpay your gas fees, easy integrations with dApps built on top, and so forth. And then I think the most recent piece of news that I'll mention is just in the form of governance. So Sputnik DAO is the Near DAO structure, and Sputnik V2 is coming out soon. And I can't, there's no date yet on it, but it's quite soon. And I should just say it is like the network state, I guess you could say. Like when Balaji speaks about, the network state is coming and crypto, everything's going on chain, you'll have on-chain businesses and on-chain governments. When I had to first look at Sputnik V2, I thought, man, this is exceptionally sophisticated. So maybe kind of going from that, those 5 pieces really make up Near. It's a really friendly community and very much kind of focused on win-win crypto solutions. So happy to work with other chains and happy to work with entrepreneurs and developers from across the cryptoverse. Yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you. And I can vouch for that. I think something that we've seen when working with the Near team is the openness and the approach. You know, how approachable the team has been and friendly to work with us and to help us in any roadblock that we have, and basically figuring out the integration together. And you know, the community in general has been super friendly as well and super welcoming. Yesterday, the engagement for the release was amazing as well. Everyone was, you know, really excited about it. And so I can definitely agree with that, and that's very cool. I'd love to deep dive on the Sputnik DAO eventually. So maybe if you have some documentation or something to share, you know, that sounds really exciting.
Yeah, for sure. I think they have V2 on GitHub right now, but it's kind of like you kind of need to be able to put the pieces together to kind of see how it operates. But yeah, definitely. And I also think there were some pretty funny memes yesterday in light of the Liquality launch. I don't have any on hand, but there were some pretty good ones where it was pretty funny. Yeah.
Yeah, the ditching Binance memes.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Yeah, I loved it. And yeah, just to I'm going to show you what the integration looks like if this allows me to stop presenting. Okay, yeah. So basically, you know, right now Near is another you know, another asset of the Liquality Wallet. This is on testnet, and I'm testnet rich. And so if you know, in the Liquality Wallet, you know, you can enable or disable Near in the manage assets. So basically you have it here with all the other assets, including Binance Smart Chain. And you know, if you want to swap, if you want to go, you can send, receive Near, and you can swap from Ethereum's or Bitcoin or any asset that we have into the Near blockchain. And so into Near, the asset which is lives in the Near blockchain. Something that's, you know, of course, incredibly important to Near is the low fees. So, you know, it's 1 cent per swap, so it's incredibly cheap and fast to transact on Near. It's also something that we've made is that, you know, before when you were creating a Near account on the Near wallet, you needed Near to begin with, so you had to purchase it either via, you know, a bank account or go to Binance, a centralized exchange, and purchase that Near to have a Near wallet. With Liquality, we've solved that problem by paying, you know, basically funding your first Near. And so when you swap from ETH to Near or from Bitcoin to Near, basically that problem is solved. You don't need Near to acquire Near. And so that should be a really big improvement in terms of user experience and, you know, and how we send and receive it. And something else, you know, Near is like Ozymandias said, it's very user friendly, and so it has ENS, something like ENS built in, where you can have basically names, so kind of like Simon.Near as part of your account. So we'll be integrating that functionality in the future. So thank you, Ozymandias, for joining. I you know, very much looking forward to seeing where the collaboration with Near takes us. And so just continuing on the call, you know, these are some of the upcoming designs that we wanted to show you guys. Tessie, maybe you want to talk a little bit about this and what's coming in terms of design in the wallet.
Sure. So this is the next step of defining the transaction fees. And as you see on the left side, you can see how you can go from slow to average to fast, and when you roll over, it shows you the exact fees as we see them at that moment. They're always they can always change a little bit. And if you go into custom, you can set your own fee and apply, and then that's what it does. And then it sets down here, for example, here on ETH, you know, this is the preset fee. If you want to reset it, it goes back to the same toggle that was there before. And that's it. That way you have more control over fees.
Awesome. And something that we don't have here, but that I'm super excited about, Tessie has been designing a way for you to understand how much gas you have left in each of your wallets. So because we're going to have, you know, multiple wallets, multiple accounts on different chains, and let's say you have DAI on, you know, 3 separate chains, you want to understand, you know, where does that DAI live, how much gas you need to spend, you know, on the different chains, how much, you know, basically how much assets you need to leave for the gas. And so Tessie has been designing these like gas trackers, which look like a little bit like a dial, like in your car, to figure out, you know, how much gas do you have left? Do you need to retop, you know, top up your fuel? So that's also coming, which is a really cool design that I loved.
Actually, Anne picked the
go ahead.
icon. We talked
Oh,
about it.
Anne.
That was an idea.
Awesome. Thank you, Anne.
I do the conceptual parts and the architecture, and that's the visual design, the visual resolution. But basically, in any kind of like when a user onboards, if you have like a single chain, let's say on MetaMask, it's of course easy to know. Yes, this is like the ETH, right? But that you need for this particular account, and that's also you know, structured that way. But in you know, swap environments, when you have, you know, you go from one chain to another, users are not, I mean, they don't know every chain and every core token that's needed there, right? And so therefore, it's really important to tie this together, and even in you know, so to make the user aware of a structure. At least that's what we're thinking right now, right? So this will be something that we will be testing, because on one hand it makes it easy, because you see the relationship. Here's the chain, there is the token, and you can see this already on the interface right now. If you want to open it again, you want to open this, the wallet.
Yeah.
You can see the structure, but then you know, how does the user know how much gas is needed, and what that gas should be, right? And so yeah, here if you click on Ethereum, you see the top token is ETH, right? And so in the next round, the next release, for example, when you have stablecoin and you sort like how many stablecoins do I have, and you have a multi-account, multi-Ethereum account environment, then they would all sort underneath each other, and then you can see with a rollover which account has how much ETH, and the same for the other chains that need gas.
Amazing. Awesome. Thank you, Tessie. And yeah, and so going forward, also we are launching a Swapdap revamp. So some for our web application users, we released it unofficially, I think yesterday, but we'll be making an announcement as well on that. Carl has been leading the work on that, so thank you, Carl. It looks, you know, much better, and Tessie, of course, and Anne doing the design. And so that has been another work in progress that has been happening, and it's much smoother and much clearer as to you know, how to conduct a swap now. So amazing. And then, you know, we're hiring. We're hiring in all fronts. The Liquality team in the community is going to be experiencing significant growth over the next few months and years, and so we want to be ready for that. These are some of the roles that we're hiring. So on the development front, we're hiring in all phases. So if you're a mobile engineer, DevOps, smart contract engineer, full stack JavaScript, and front end on the view side for the wallet. If you want to work on the single interface to crypto, and you're excited about what we do, reach out. We're also hiring on the operations front. So liquidity lead to help us scale our liquidity and our liquidity network, a chief of staff as well to help us with all of the operations, internal operations of the company, and product, a senior product manager to help coordinate the not only the wallet extension, but also the mobile app that will be coming. And so that's going to be a super key role as to how we, you know, a growth focused product manager that can help us scale this to, you know, right now we're at close to 10,000 users. How do we get to 1 million quickly? And then marketing, a digital marketer that can help us on all fronts. So basically growing the community, working on socials, working on the data analytics of our platform. That's is going to be also a super important role. And then community. So we have Stephanie that joined us last month, who has been crucial to Liquality. I think many of you have already interacted with Stephanie, and we're going to be growing that customer success team. And so we're hiring for the APAC region time zone so that we have 24/7 availability, and that if you have an issue with Liquality, you don't have to wait to solve it. And so, yeah, if you're interested, reach out to me, Simon at liquality.io, reach out on Telegram, reach out on Discord, wherever is more convenient for you. We want the best and brightest, and you know, we have incredibly competitive compensation and other ways to incentivize our team to make sure that we're all, you know, well compensated, that we're healthy, and that we are growing together. So yeah, come join Liquality. And then lastly, if you don't want a full-time job, there's also many ways of getting involved. So we'll be growing the community moderators team as well, starting with our most active community members. So join us on Discord. We still have the Telegram, of course, but reach out if you want to help us moderate the community, if you want to help us not only moderate, but really grow the community and have an active, engaged community. We'll also be designing an early contributor program. So come help us design it. If you've seen something that works in other teams and DeFi teams that have done this really well, we're looking at those and trying to basically grab whatever has worked best and improve on that. And then, you know, give feedback on the wallet. I think many of you already do, but continue to do so. We have a feedback form that we send out every release. We take feedback on Telegram, on Discord. We have channels for those, and so please, we're building for our users and for you. And so whenever you say something that you want to see, we take it really seriously, and we add it, to the very active backlog that we have. And if we hear it enough, we prioritize it as well. And other than that, we're very open. We're in a growth mode. And so if you have ideas on how you can help Liquality grow, reach out, and we'll be all ears, and we'll welcome you with open arms.
And we will also put a search out for people who can help us quickly test on prototypes. So we want to test a few things, and so just be prepared. If you want to do this, then hop on and then we'll test with you. That would be great.
Awesome. So I'll pass it back to Whipper now. I think, Whipper, you've been getting some questions on Telegram, on Discord. If there's any live questions right now, we'll also open it up for questions. But Whipper, I'll pass it back to you.
Thank you, guys. I have to be honest. As someone who uses the Liquality wallet like myself, and I've been around for a while, I'm completely blown away. I absolutely love the updates and the roadmap. I think there's just so much potential and so much happening here. Just really happy to be here. This is a great community, and this is a fantastic product. Before I get to some of the questions coming through on some of the community groups, I had a question of my own. You mentioned Arbitrum and some sort of use case between Liquality and that. I was wondering if you can just very briefly just expand on that. I'd love to hear more about it.
Yeah. So basically, we're starting to talk about what an integration with Arbitrum looks like in the same way that we are. So that Liquality is based on our chain abstraction layer, which is our open source protocol or library that allows us to talk to many different chains in a simplified way. And so whether they are L1s, layer 1s, or layer 2s, they're just another addition to the chain abstraction layer. And so whenever we add a new chain, like we just added near, it becomes interoperable with all of the ones that we have. So when we added near, we can swap Bitcoin, ETH, ERC20s, RSK, BNB for near, right? And so in the same way, we're adding Polygon next. And so it becomes basically like another chain, even though it's a layer 2 on Ethereum, we interact with it almost as if it was a separate system. And so that allows us to have really cool things. Like, for example, we're not subject to the withdrawal delays of some of these layer 2s. So Optimism, for example, has a 7-day withdrawal delay for security purposes. However, when you're doing an atomic swap, you're not actually withdrawing the assets. What you're doing is you're swapping directly on those chains. So if you're going from Bitcoin to, let's say, Polygon, you're locking your Bitcoin, then you're locking your Polygon on Polygon. And as a user, you're withdrawing directly on Polygon. You never have to touch Ethereum, the layer 1. And so basically it becomes a quicker, more secure way of doing these cross L1 to L2 swaps. And in the same way, we'll be integrating Arbitrum so that basically you can interact. So I think Uniswap is going to just pass the vote, at least a snapshot vote, so a signaling vote that will, I'm sure, become a real vote to deploy their contracts on Arbitrum. And so we'll be releasing the functionality to be able to interact with those applications, and shortly after as well, to be able to swap between any L1 that we support or L2 to those layer 2s directly.
That sounds awesome. Just looking through Telegram and Discord, Simone, did I miss something? Because I don't see.
No, I'm just talking in general. I think you had, I don't know if you've gotten the questions that have been brought up in the past few days.
Right. I don't see anything here coming through. I did have another question with regards to the 1-inch integration, which, by the way, is fantastic. I think that's a fabulous feature to have. I'm wondering if there's a way for us, like on the base layer, when we're making swaps, to somehow get those swap fees a little bit tighter. And the reason why I asked that is just so that we can drive more liquidity, more swaps. As things start to mature, do you see some of those fees for the swaps going down at all?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a matter of market dynamics. And so I think that as we onboard more mature and professional market makers, basically there's competition. And so right now it's a small pool of liquidity. And so as we expand it, I think the fees become smaller and smaller. Absolutely.
Right, that's awesome.
So I think it's a matter of maturity and time.
Right. Yeah, that's great. And I'm happy to see, since the last time we all met in the community call, one thing I've noticed is that some of the persisting issues that were coming up before have been dealt with, which is amazing. I've noticed that the RBTC liquidity has really upped its game, which is fantastic. And for someone like myself who is really involved in the Sovereign community, it's nice to hear some always really good feedback from the Sovereign community with regards to the Liquality Wallet. So keep it up, guys. You guys are doing fantastic work. If there's any other questions coming in from the audience, we'd love to hear from anyone who has anything they'd like to ask or add, any comments or questions. Please go ahead. All right. Looks like everyone wants to get back to buying the dip.
Awesome. So just to finalize and to close out, we'll be doing a small raffle. So we'll be giving out $50 in either Bitcoin or Ethereum, whatever the winner prefers. And so for that, if you're here in the call, please input a number on the chat from 1 to 10. I'll be generating a random number using Google's random number picker, and whoever comes closer to that, will win the $50. So please input now. right, 20 more seconds to see if anyone else is going to participate. All right, just to prove, the random number picker was 2. And so Alfonso, you're the lucky winner today of the $50 giveaway. If you want, please send me your address directly. Either here on the chat or you can ping me. Yeah, you can ping me. And so send me your either Ethereum or Bitcoin address, and we'll send you that that giveaway.
Cool. I'll ping you separately.
Okay, amazing.
Thank you.
Congrats, Alfonso.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome.
Just one question, last question before you guys
Please.
close that. We had a chat with Tisa the other day about the ability to sort of swap NFTs. You know, because we have a use case about you know, creating an auction, live auction, and the idea is to sort of, people will come to us beforehand, apply with an NFT, and that NFT could be in Bitcoin blockchain or in Ethereum blockchain. So the idea is to put all that before the live auction, and so the seller is committed to sell those NFTs. You know, whenever the price is agreed in the live auction. And so ideally, I mean, I think you guys have an excellent product to do that. So I'm not sure how to do it, but you know, the idea is like once the auction is finished, you know, there is an exchange of NFTs and Ether, you know, from one side to another.
I love that. So basically, like applying the same double-sided escrows that we have for atomic swaps, but for between NFTs and crypto, right?
Exactly, between an NFT and a token, or Ether or Bitcoin, a crypto.
Yeah, that's not doable today, but it's absolutely doable with the Liquality technology. I think it would just be basically, it would require integration of the NFT standard on whichever chain you want to do this on into the chain abstraction layer. So basically it becomes another asset. And so you can, we have an OTC platform that our first prototype or MVP that we developed was an OTC platform that would work really well with this use case. If we add the, let's say, ERC 721 or whichever NFT, you know, standard on whichever chain you're trying to you're trying to do. So reach out either on Telegram or Discord. We can talk about, you know, what we need to do to make that happen, and whether, you know, you have developers in your side that we can give you the instructions on and help you, give you technical guidance on how to make this happen.
Cool.
Were you on the call with us on when was it? Thursday was it? Did we talk already, Alfonso? Yeah. Okay. So great. So yes,
which is the best way, anyways. I want to push this forward for discussion. But I'm not sure if this call is or Telegram is are the right channels for you guys.
Let's why don't you ping me
Harsh is already
on Telegram?
looking into this. Yeah, Harsh is already looking into this. We had this conversation, and it's more about the details. Yes, 721 we can enable because it's also Ethereum. And yeah, Harsh, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, I think so. We discussed about, like, briefly on the ERC 721 integration with the atomic swap. So, like, you know, that would enable any NFT marketplace to accept currencies like Bitcoin and allow them to trade. So, like, we are still still investigating that one.
Cool. Fantastic.
Okay, let's create a joint Telegram channel where we can give you the technical guidance.
Amazing. Thank you, guys. Well, thank you for the prize too. that was amazing.
Congrats.
Oh, and $50. How about that?
Well, you know, it's every little helps. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I'm
Totally.
happy.
You gotta stack those sats.
Exactly.
Cool. Cool.
Amazing.
Thank you guys. Thanks a lot for the presentation. It was amazing.
All right, awesome. So
Alfonso.
with that, we will officially close the call. Thank you everyone for joining us. We look forward to hosting you again on our next community call. Thank you. Please feel free to ask any questions in our Telegram and our Discord groups. We look forward to helping you, and only good things to come in the future. So thank you everyone, and that's the official close. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
You too.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.